So the Washington Post has a really terrifying report here about the Trump Justice Department. They're considering removing key checks on lawmaker prosecutions. So let me walk you through this here. Here's what they say. Federal prosecutors across the country may soon be able to indict members of Congress without approval from lawyers in the Justice Department's Public Integrity section, according to three people familiar with the proposal attorneys in the section learned about last week. Under the proposal, investigators and prosecutors would also not be required to consult with the section's attorneys during key steps of probes into public officials, altering a long-standing provision in the Justice Department's manual that outlines how investigations of elected officials should be conducted. If adopted, the changes would remove a layer of review intended to ensure that cases against public officials are legally sound and not politically motivated. Career prosecutors in the Public Integrity section guided and signed off on the criminal investigations into alleged corruption by New York Mayor Eric Adams and former Democratic Senator Bob Menendez. So in other words, you were still able to go after the corrupt criminal politicians. You were able to prosecute them, but you had to go through the proper channels and get the proper approval and go step by step, right? They're trying to remove the steps and just make it so Trump can politically target whoever the hell he wants to target with no roadblocks in the way. A Justice Department spokesman confirmed the proposal and said that no final decisions have been made. The three people familiar with the proposal spoke on the condition of anonymity because they fear reprisals. So even discussing what the Trump regime is planning to do, I could lose my job. They could come after me if I tell you the truth about what we're working on here. Attorney General Pam Bondi has repeatedly accused the Biden administration of having weaponized the Justice Department and has vowed to remove politics from the nation's premier law enforcement agency. Oh my God, I'm going to lose it. I can't when they talk like this, bro. First of all, the Biden administration not only went after, it wasn't just Republicans they went after. It was Eric Adams happened under the Biden administration. Bob Menendez happened under the Biden administration. They bend over backwards to be sort of apolitical, right? Now, meanwhile, under Trump, are there any illusions of who he's going to target? We know who he's going to target. He's obviously going to go after Democrats and he's going to go after his own political enemies. They say since being sworn in, she has closely aligned the department, which traditionally keeps some distance from the White House, with the president, ratcheting up immigration enforcement and refocusing the Civil Rights Division on culture war fights that go beyond traditional conservative causes such as religious freedom. Federal law enforcement officials arrested Newark Mayor Ross Baraka, remember this? We just talked about this the other day, at an immigration facility this month, and prosecutors charged him with trespassing. Trump administration officials have warned that 3 members of Congress from New Jersey, all Democrats, who were at the facility with Baraka could be charged as well. That is what this really boils down to, y'all, is you had these Democratic politicians who were protesting at an ICE facility saying, look, we don't want this facility in New Jersey. We don't think that, this is good for the country, and we're going to regulate them using state standards and do what we can to basically shut down this facility. But the fact that they were protesting, the regime thugs didn't like that, so Ross Baraka was arrested. And then you have, now they're saying these geriatric Democratic congresswomen, we're going to go arrest them. And the argument is, well, maybe they assaulted ICE officers. Like, what, are you out of your mind? Some 75-year-old Democratic congresswoman you think was assaulting an ICE officer, an armed ICE officer wearing a fucking bulletproof vest? Are you out of your mind? But that's the thing is, they'll use any flimsy justification they can to try to throw the book at Democratic politicians who they don't like, who stand against their agenda. And so that's effectively what this boils down to. We already have a scenario where basically the attorney general is trying to please the president, come hell or high water. So there is no independence anymore. There is no hey, you go do what you think is right based on the law, based on your own prioritization of what's happening. That's not the case anymore. So we've already gotten rid of one of the norms, the norm being, hey, they're kind of independent. The attorney general is independent, right? And then now they're any other checks we have that prevents us from genuinely doing weaponization of the Justice Department. Let's get rid of that too. Because this is the oldest trick in the book that they use. They scream at the top of their lungs that it's the Democrats who are politicizing the Justice Department. And it's the Democrats who are going after, people who are totally innocent, when in reality, that's all he wants to do. The reason Trump was charged with 91 crimes is because he committed 91 crimes. I always say, okay, go point for point with me, go crime for crime with me, and you tell me why each one is incorrect. Because I can tell you why they're right. I can give you detailed evidence that we know of that's been widely reported as to why, no, he actually is guilty of the tax fraud and the insurance fraud and the business fraud and this and that. But you never get any specific responses from Republicans because deep down they know that he actually is a criminal. And yes, he did do the fake elector slate. Yes, he did try to stay in office, after he lost the 2020 election. They know that deep down. And so what he does, it's the oldest trick in the book. It's psychological projection. He accuses the Democrats of doing what he wants to do. And now we're learning wheels are in motion to actually get rid of the actual checks and balances that are there to make sure that we're not going to go after innocent people. We're not going to weaponize the Justice Department just to go after Trump's enemies. Guys, he's literally all over the place today saying that we need to investigate Beyonce and Bruce Springsteen because of what they were doing with the Kamala campaign. That, they got paid a lot of money to do concerts or whatever to endorse her, and that's illegal, and we're going to look. This same dude who Elon Musk said, I'm going to pay you $1 million if you go vote for Trump. That's your people. That's your campaign. You just took you want to take a $400 million jet from Qatar, violate the emoluments clause on a daily basis with your immense corruption, and you want to investigate Bruce Springsteen and Beyonce? Are you out of your mind? Taylor Swift? He just threw Oprah. He threw a whole bunch of celebrity names out there and was like, we need to go after these people. These people messed up. These people are breaking the law. Meanwhile, here he is trying to roll back the rules to prevent weaponization of the Justice Department. So he wants to weaponize the Justice Department. He wants to target his own political enemies. We've already seen him do it. He's gone after the law firms. He's gone after the media companies. This is his strategy. The universities. He's trying to make sure, hey, let's snuff out any dissent whatsoever, make everybody bend the knee, make everybody petition the king. And this is how you basically consolidate power, right? Muck up some nonsense charges and put it against the politicians you don't like. And then you make a big stink about it. And it's tale as old as time, right? The tyrant goes out there, accuses others of what he's guilty of, but he actually tries to go after his enemies and lock them up and make their life a living hell. This is what he does. It reminds me of what he did with the governor of Maine. They were in a fight over trans people in sports, in school sports, and the governor of Maine was like, I'll see you in court. We're not just going to bend to your will, so we're going to court over it. And Trump had all these different ways to get back at the state of Maine, trying to freeze certain funds that were supposed to go for certain things from the federal government to Maine. He would just freeze them and screw her over, right? And this is what he does. If you don't give him his way, he'll throw the book at you. And now we know we're going to have true weaponization. It's so ironic because all of the charges against Trump and his acolytes, all of the charges were all immensely correct. It was based on evidence. It was based on their own actions. This shit was real as a heart attack. So that's actually upholding the law and bringing about justice when it's going after Trump and his allies. But when he gets in power, when he gets control, he's going to flip it and he's going to go after people over bogus nonsense. And so it's a terrifying thing that now they're in the process of removing the roadblocks to prevent them from weaponizing. And this is also why you see all these purges, right? We saw this with the military. He purged all the people in the military who would stand up to him and tell him, sir, I disagree. Let's not do the Insurrection Act. Let's not do martial law. And now he's got himself in a position where if he wants to, nobody's going to stop him, right? The purges are happening. And so this is basically the end of what should, in theory, be a much more objective approach to law. He's ending that with a smile on his face, and he will throw the book at anybody and everybody who he feels like crossed the line with him, even if what they did is nowhere near illegal. And they're beginning the process now. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.